In the 19th century, something completely inexplicable was happening at this artist's exhibitions. People would crowd in front of his canvases for hours, and the biggest skeptics would wait until the museum guard looked away, just to peek behind the stretcher bars. They were absolutely convinced they were being boldly scammed. They were looking for a candle or a lamp hidden behind the painting, because the human mind simply refused to believe that ordinary oil paint on canvas could glow from within like that. But what if I told you that this man created the most massive optical illusion in art history? He never painted outdoors. He worked in a secluded room with windows facing a courtyard. His fellow artists openly disliked him, accusing him of mass-producing identical scenes. Today, we're taking off the gilded frames to look at the dark side of his legendary triumph. How do you paint a wave crashing toward you with the speed of a freight train? Painters back then would spend weeks sitting on the coast with their easels, trying to freeze the moment. Aivazovsky openly called that a mistake. Look at his greatest masterpieces. The artist possessed a phenomenal, almost terrifying visual memory. The movement of natural elements is elusive for a brush. An artist who merely copies it will never create anything powerful. Do you know how he worked? He would go to the shore during a storm, stand there, and just watch the water for hours, memorizing the movement. Then he'd walk back to his studio in Feodosia, lock the door, and turn his back to the sea. The windows of his studio faced an inner courtyard. In complete silence, entirely from memory, he reconstructed chaos. But how did he achieve that mystical inner glow? The secret lies in a unique glazing technique. Aivazovsky applied dozens of paper-thin, precise layers of paint on top of each other. When you look at the canvas, regular room light passes through these layers, hits the white primer of the canvas itself, and bounces right back into your eyes. The painting functions literally like a mirror. He bent the laws of physics to serve his global fame. Hidden inside his paintings is a detail that most viewers miss, blinded by the aesthetics. Almost every major storm he painted depicts the exact moment right before the end. Look at the painting, The Wave. There are no warm colors here. Only a freezing, merciless grey abyss. A tiny ship is sinking to the ocean floor, and the people in the lifeboat are virtually helpless against the elements. Where did this tangible, primal fear of the ocean come from? It wasn't just imagination. Aivazovsky survived a terrifying catastrophe himself. The ship he was sailing on caught a violent storm. The vessel was nearly ripped to shreds. European newspapers even managed to print emergency obituaries. The artist was presumed dead. He survived by a miracle, and for the rest of his life, he channeled that visceral terror onto his canvases. He went so far as to reconstruct scenarios he couldn't have physically seen. Look at this canvas. Icebergs in Antarctica. Massive ice structures glowing with an eerie neon light. Aivazovsky had never been to the South Pole. He took cold, dry facts, blended them with his own memories of surviving a storm, and produced a masterpiece that chills you to the bone. Yet, while the public went crazy for his work and emperors bought up his canvases, a quiet jealousy was brewing in the hallways of the Academy of Arts. His peers openly criticized him. The great Alexander Ivanov, who spent 20 long years painting the appearance of Christ before the people, did not share the enthusiasm for Aivazovsky's methods. He was accused of rushing his work for quick commercial success. Over his lifetime, Aivazovsky painted more than 6,000 canvases. Critics claimed it was fundamentally impossible to produce masterpieces at such speed. Do you know how Aivazovsky responded to that challenge? He staged a total power move. He started gathering experts in his studio, hanging a massive blank canvas in front of them, setting a timer, and painting a roaring sea from scratch right before their eyes, in just 2 to 3 hours. No sketches, no room for error. A living, breathing wave was born out of chaotic strokes right in front of the stunned critics. And he reached his absolute peak at 81 years old. Shortly before his death, he locked himself in his studio and, in just 10 days, painted the monumental masterpiece Among the Waves, measuring 10 by 13 feet. Without a single preliminary sketch, it was his ultimate manifesto. While others torture a single canvas for years, he recreates the raw element in a matter of days. Aivazovsky shattered the main stereotype of his era, the idea that a genius must be poor, unrecognized, and miserable. He became an exceptionally wealthy man, built a railway and a water supply system in his hometown of Feodosia, providing the city with free, clean water. His secret wasn't trickery. It was that he made us believe canvas and oil could be deeper, more translucent, and more monumental than the actual ocean. And that is precisely why, nearly 2 centuries later, people still stand frozen before his paintings, desperately searching for that hidden source of light. Let me know in the comments which Aivazovsky painting fascinates you the most. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next art history investigation.